Blanket loan, yes. Client is asking, hey, I have 5, 10, 15 properties, 10, 15 different loans. Can you combine all of them into one blanket loan? Yes, we can definitely do that. Okay. We can definitely do that. Um, it has good side and it also has bad side. The good side is that obviously we can combine all 15 property into one loan. Now, why do we have to do that? It's because when you out there to purchase uh property and each property got its own loan, now you have so many different loans that you didn't manage. Okay. Um, Especially for investors that they are getting their loans through a traditional mortgage company. Get to a certain point, the most traditional mortgage company would not be able to give them a loan anymore. It's just because there's so many what they call DTI, debt to income ratio. There's so many loans. So by putting them into a blanket loan, and especially putting into a blanket loan under an LLC, using the LLC to hold on all those properties, it relieves the client's the liability from the client, meaning that when you check his credit report, you do not see that loan on his credit report because that loan is to the loan is to whom? To the LLC, not to that person. That is same thing. That is the truth for any other commercial loans that we talked about. Okay, so when you pull a client's credit score, as long as the loan is under an LLC, it would not show up on his credit report. So it free up a lot of his credit. Okay. And of course, much easier to manage if you have a blanket loan. Um, but however, what is the best side of it? The best side of it is that now you tie all 5, 10, 15 property into one loan. So in the future, let's say if you want to sell one property, then they have to do something called a partial release. So a partial release works like this. So assuming that you just have five properties, okay, easier for me to do the calculation. You have five properties, and each property is 200,000. Okay, so now you have $1 million loan covers that five properties. So when you decided to, sometimes down the road, when you decided to sell one property, now you have to pay back not the $200,000, but you have to pay back 120% of that loan. So now instead of paying back $200,000, then you have to pay back 200 and what? $240,000. So now basically by the time that you pay down the fourth, the fifth one, you're already free and clear. Put it this way. Okay, so that's how blanket loan is set up. Okay. So can we do it? Absolutely, we can do it. But however, many lenders right now they will see a blanket loan as multifamily. In reality, that is true because you have one loan that you covers many, many different properties. It could be multifamily. Once you get up to 4 or 5 units, that becomes multifamily. And multifamily's rate, it's higher than 1 to 4 units. So in some cases, we will suggest our client if there's not too many uh properties, let's say if you like 5 or 6 different properties, I would rather them to have 5 or 6 different loans, even though it's a little bit more complicated um to manage. But again, the interest rate will be much more favorable to the client than if you would do a blanket loan and of more flexible too. Because again, in the future, if you want to just refinance one or you want to sell one, it's very flexible instead of tying everything into one blanket loan. But of course, we can definitely do that. And for blanket loan, we can also tie in some lenders, we can also tie in commercial property and residential property together. It's called what they call cross collateral. So there's a lot of things that we can do um, on the commercial side.